Good day, beloved. Foursquare Women International Nigeria welcomes you to this special online program for the celebration of our annual Mother's Day and the Big M Day. Hallelujah. This year's theme is the woman of great faith. The theme is very apt for such a time like this the world over. All we need to remain on top is indeed great faith in the God of heavens. Today, we are looking at a very critical issue, which is the wisdom of women in this internet era, vis-a-vis health, spiritual growth, education, and social improvement. We must give kudos to our great women of faith for their efforts so far in keeping the home front intact. We will look at ways of consolidating these efforts for a greater tomorrow. To do justice to this topic, I have two great women of faith who have paid their views for their tremendous success in the society and most importantly in the body of Christ. They are soaring in their chosen fields of endeavors. Please permit me at this point in time to introduce these great women of faith. Very close to me, to my left, is Mrs. Helen Amuta. Actually, she's a deaconess of the Foursquare Gospel Church, Nigeria. Deaconess Helen Amuta. She's an educationist of repute. She is a Deputy Registrar, Federal College of Education, Technical, Akoka, Lagos, Nigeria. She's been in that field for over 2 decades, and she's a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management and Chartered Institute of Public Management of Nigeria. She's been in the marriage institution for almost 3 decades, and she's got lovely kids. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And I have a doctor in the house. Dr. Iritiola Dikwo Fagbemi, a consultant general dental practitioner. She's a member of the Association of Public Health Physicians of Nigeria and has almost 2 decades in that profession, both in the public and the private sectors. She's happily married with kids. You're welcome, Doctor. Women, you're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much.
And my name is Funke Oga, your uncle. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you. There's a saying that goes that the spiritual controls the physical.
That's right.
And so we're going to start on a spiritual note. We're talking about how to make use of the internet to ensure that we have a good living. You understand? We don't stray away from the presence of God. So can you tell us, Deaconess Helen Amuta, as an educationist and a teacher of the word, how has it been using the internet to ensure that the spiritual growth in the family is okay?
Well, thank you very much. And we actually want to thank God for this great opportunity. When we look at the internet, we actually look at it as a gift to us. But several times we know that this gift has its blessings and it has its curses. And so we always look at the curses, the problems. What has it done to our children? They are not doing well. But today, as mothers in this age, we want to begin to look at the blessings of the internet and how it has helped us to grow in our families spiritually. It's just a click away. The knowledge of God that you need to have in this era, in this digital era, is just a click away with a little phone, that smartphone in your hand. So what are we talking about here? We're looking at the way a mother can help the children, can help the family to grow spiritually because of what he sees every day on the internet. Permit me to say that the problem we have is that a lot of women are not interested in this internet. But we must have to do that so that we can stay ahead of the trend of what is happening to our children. And so when we look at the spiritual aspect, we look at those days, especially this period of lockdown. We have come to the point of having church without walls. The churches are in our homes. So what do we do? How do we maximize the opportunity? And so with that same smartphone, there are a lot of apps that will help us to grow spiritually. There's a particular app, apart from the Bible that you have there, there's a particular YouVersion Bible app that our children have been able to download this period and to look at it. What can it do for us? With that app, you can read the Bible, you can listen to it. You can also look at various devotionals. And one of the important things is that you can look at several versions of the Bible just with an app. You don't have to carry, 2, 3 Bibles at the same time. But you can look at the various versions and, you get what you want. And so we see the internet having helped us, especially this period. You can imagine the meetings. I remember last Sunday, after the service. How did we have service? On the television, through the internet. And we're all blessed with it. But even after that, the children still were able to have their Sunday school with their teacher on Zoom. These are all the ways we can access the internet, and it has helped. There are a lot of books, Christian books. There are a lot of songs, Christian songs that you can listen. You download them, and they have actually been a blessing to us. When you're locked down, you can't go out. There's several things you can't really reach. But right there, inside your home, you can read so much. And then you see that you can also guide the children. They see what we do every day because they learn from what we do much more than what we say. So they see it, and it has tremendously helped us to see that even without being in the church building, we can actually grow spiritually.
Are you saying that that's okay for us for now? Or?
No, we know that we are meant to come together. But for now, there's a lockdown. You can't go out. What is happening out there is something we cannot expose our children to, or even ourselves. So what do? We make do with it, and it has done well for us because there's been tremendous impact in our spiritual life through the internet. If we are continuing, I'll tell you several meetings you can hold while at home, and yet your spiritual life is so enlightened. You're not lacking anything because we have the internet. You can look at books. You can imagine reading books together and discussing it. Okay. So there are several ways that it has helped us, and I know that it will continue to help us because I tell you, after now, the world has changed.
Okay, thank you very much. Doctor, at this point in time, I would like to find out from you, from the medical point of view, how has the internet been able to, to assist in getting the needed medicals to people, you understand, during the lockdown?
Thank you very much. Basically, the role or the influence of the social media on health, especially in our aspect of the world, the developing nations, that Nigeria is one of, as at now, is more of education and information. There is health education and also health promotion. The internet during this period of lockdown, there were lots of information on the internet considering or about the COVID-19 pandemic. Many people got their knowledge or their understanding of this condition and how it's affecting nations, how it's affecting individuals from the internet, online, either through the WhatsApp, either through the Facebook, even on the television screens, the radios. There was a lot of information that were passed across to people, and also there were also a lot of information about how to protect yourself, how to protect your family, how to avoid, getting exposed to the virus. And, information that were passed across, people made use of it. And some other countries that were more or that had previously been affected before us were able to learn how they handled it, how they were able to protect themselves, and some of those things we were carried over to us that we also could do. So it was from the internet that many information were being passed across to us, and that a lot of people were helped to know what was happening and how they could, go about protecting themselves. So the internet was a good source of providing information. In addition, certain, maybe not all, because like I said, our kind of environment is just evolving, but at the same time there were one or two instances, a few instances where there were conference. So some people had an opportunity for conference and consultation, like like telemedicine, but maybe not absolutely so, but something close to it, whereby you could call if you're registered to a particular hospital. You could make a call because of the lockdown. You can't go about. You could make a call to make some complaints about, even though people may not get the full care online, but at the same time you could make your complaints known to them. And if it will require for you to visit the hospital, then you'll be told. People had some, they were able to interact with their physicians in some quarters, maybe not all, because many organizations or hospitals didn't have that facilities. But yes, there were still a few who had such privileges.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Now, as an educationist and as a mother, we are mothers. During the lockdown, we stayed home, right? And as an educationist, you needed to get across to some of your students. How did you manage? How did you cope?
Thank you very much. You see, we have said that we've come to a new age, the digital era, and we can't actually run away from it. But we have seen that there are a lot of advantages, especially in the education sector. For like over 4 weeks, we've been home, and we had some, the students are supposed to be taught. We thought of it, what would we do to ease this problem? Because we'll be losing a full academic session if we don't do anything about that. And so we had to go into a lot of e-learning and virtual teaching. And these things were moved out, and then there were apps, there were links where our students could get this knowledge. The good thing is we know that a little of that was also done by the government. You could see that the television, they had a program, they had a timetable, especially for the examination classes in the secondary school, which was a very good thing. We found out that through the internet, those children could download whatever they needed to know about the particular subjects and about the particular topics that they needed to get through with. So we had a lot of links from different schools. We just couldn't sit back there and watch, because we know that at the end of the pandemic, we're trusting the Lord it will soon come to an end, we'll all be out there struggling to get them to do their examinations. So what did we do? We sent out these links. And so a student in the home can actually access and be taught. That was why we added the virtual teaching. It can be taught, really. You will see the teacher. And then it had helped because, in some schools, the children will say, I don't like this subject. I don't like this teacher. He's not good. He doesn't really know how to teach. But through this period, we have seen that a particular student can look and, to exactly the same teacher, exactly the same subject, can be taught by different people. If teacher A is not good, I'm sure teacher T will be better. And so you won't be able to run away with the fact that I don't like this teacher. And it had helped a lot because personally I have a child who is in an examination class and has done, the lessons have become much better. And he has learned so much because there were so many ways, so many links. And that's why we're talking to mothers. If you don't know these things, how would you guide them? The major thing and the easier thing to do for a child is to play. And there are games to play. Another thing they can do is to watch movies. And so that's why we've said that, you know, I looked at it and I said earlier that we want to look at the blessings of this internet. If it has helped to keep our students abreast of the knowledge and what they need to know at this time, I think it has helped us.
Okay, before we go into the gains of the internet during the lockdown, we quickly take a short break. We'll be right back. Please don't go away. It's good to have you back on a special program for women of Foursquare Gospel Church International, Nigeria, as we celebrate Mother's Day and the Big M Day. And we've been having a discussion on wisdom of women in the internet era vis-a-vis the health, education, social life, and most importantly, our spiritual life. And I have great women of faith in the studio. Dr. Ireti Fagbemi, Deaconess Helen Amuta, and it's really a privilege to have you with us. Doctor, you're going to tell us the gains of this internet issue during the lockdown, especially as it affects us, you know, as mothers, as families, in our social life. What are the gains?
Thank you very much. Well, during this lockdown period, one major thing especially, I'm going to start from the angle that pertains to me, health. A lot of women, or the entire world, we have gained a lot on hygiene, personal hygiene. Things that we never used to pay attention to or we took for granted in the past because of COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of women began to pay attention, extra attention, as a matter of fact. In some homes, it wasn't a usual thing to tell your children to always go and wash their hands. You would just assume over and over again. It wasn't. And then, but now, you will not only stop at telling the children, you would even go ahead to tell the daddy. And say, Daddy, before you come in, please, sir, help me to wash your hands, you know. And those things were taken care of. Now, my advice, or one of the things I feel that we have learned, we have gained that knowledge, we shouldn't let it go. Because it's not just about COVID-19. Those hygiene habits would also protect us from so many other infections or so many other diseases. It's not as if those good hygiene can only protect from COVID-19. So we have gathered knowledge, we have gained knowledge, and we should maintain them. We should teach our children to still be hygienic. We should protect our children from, you know, other people. We may not, by the grace of God, COVID-19 will go, and we wouldn't have to be covering our faces with masks and all that. But at the same time, we have to let our children know that they need to also continue to sneeze in the right way. They still need to cover themselves from other people to protect themselves from catching infections. Those are lifetime habits that we have to continue with. So we have gained that, and it is part of us. That's vis-a-vis health.
Okay. I even learned that in a family,
yes,
if you needed to go out, you must choose one person in the family.
Yeah. That's right.
That does the shopping.
That's true.
You know, that goes out from time to time. And when he or she comes back, somebody should be waiting by the door to receive whatever she has brought back.
Yes.
While she stays there.
Yeah, exactly.
And remove her shoes.
Yeah.
I don't know if she needs to remove her clothes then. She has to go straight to the bathroom.
Yes,
exactly.
Right.
And have a quick shower.
That's true.
Right.
And put the clothes in the sun. You understand? And we also told that you put all your things, all the groceries, whatever, in a carrier bag.
Yes.
So that when you get to the kitchen or to the store to bring them out, just bring them out and dispose of the carrier bag immediately.
True.
immediately.
Yes.
That I think it's good, very good.
Yes.
Now back to our educationists. How do you control the children from abusing internet? It's been a long battle, even before COVID-19.
Exactly.
And the lockdown.
Exactly.
But this lockdown period, how did you manage?
You know, for all this while, we've been struggling with our children. A lot of mothers will attest to that. It's not been easy, you know, monitoring what they watch, monitoring what they do on their phones. And it's like they can go in and sit with their phone for a very long time. But somehow, the COVID-19 has actually helped us. And I'll say that. Now you've been with them in the house. And so you can even check up what they're doing. You can look at it. The games can be done together with them so that they will know that, you know what they are doing and you want to partake in it. And so it makes it easier for them to show you what they're doing. But beyond that, when you are not even there, we have a lot of things we can do with this internet. It can help you to monitor the apps that your children can actually watch and the particular timing, for each app for them. And so when you're able to do that with your phone, that's why we keep telling our mothers, don't just use it to receive calls. Don't just receive call and drop it. That's not enough. It's been given to us so that we can do a lot more. We are living in a place where we call a global village. Just a little call away, you can get what you want. And so we can do that. And let me say this very clearly. At times you say, how can I do this? I don't know how to do it. Can you ask Google? The children will always tell you, Mommy, ask Google. Google can tell you how the steps to take to do all that. And it is very, very important. You can monitor where they go, even after this pandemic. I remember once by one of my children, he said, I want to get to Lakey. And I said, well, it looks like it's late. How do you do that? He said, okay, I will give you my live application, my live location. You will know where I am. There's a live location just on your WhatsApp that you will be able to monitor. And because of insecurity around us, we need to know where they are. Just that can keep you at rest, and then they will get there. You've agreed on a particular time. So you call and say, I think it's time you begin to come home. And you watch them come home. So if there's any issue on the road, you can actually know where your children had the problem because you can monitor their movement. So this has really, really helped us to look at several things, about the home. And then it has bonded us, really, I tell you. It has bonded because when you watch some movies together, you discuss it. What did you learn? How did it affect your life? What can you do with this later? All through the internet. So internet has actually helped us, especially this lockdown. I tell you, it's not the one that I wake up in the morning, I'm out, you run out in the evening, you come back and you don't know what has happened. But these things are things we can actually, get to know because we are mothers and I know we care about them.
Okay, as mothers, in all of this, we need data.
Exactly.
To access all this.
Exactly.
Do you think our communication network providers actually perform optimally during the lockdown?
We'll look at it and say that, yeah, to some extent. I would say yes, to some extent. The only thing is that we expected that they would have done some, giving us some rebates. They would have done something that will help us because I'm sure they know that a lot of data has been used. But another thing, sincerely, is that it depends on what you do with your phone. The problem is that sometimes we just watch some videos we don't need to watch. And that's what actually takes our data. But as mothers, we know what we're looking for. We know what we need to do in our own lives to grow as Christians and also to help our children. So what do? You make time and make data for what is important. Not that you scroll and read and look at all the videos and, funny enough, what Facebook has done? If you don't lock it up and stop the videos from showing, they will just automatically begin to show. And so with that, if you look at it very well, your data can be managed. But we can also ask, you know, our providers to do something better for us.
And to Dr. Fagbemi, maybe you want to, you know, enlighten our mothers again on how to stay safe. They've been trying. Maybe you want to remind them again all the tidbits on how to stay safe during this period.
It's okay. Well, if you're talking about staying safe from COVID alone or generally?
Generally, but because of COVID, because we can't, you know, we've got to be extra careful. We need to be very, very extra careful.
Okay, now
It will, of course, help us in other aspects of life.
Yes,
in other times.
We've been advised that first we concentrate and pay a lot of attention to personal hygiene of every member of the family. Personal hygiene in the sense that you're coming into the house from play, you wash your hands. The children are coming from school, you are coming. Anytime you go out and you're coming in, or anytime, not just outside of the house now, even outside of the living room or something, you've gone, the children have been in the compound playing. There should be, the hand washing is one major way in which, you know, infection transmission and all that can easily be prevented. At the same time, the use of face masks during this period is just to prevent us from contacting this particular virus, you know, especially since it's a respiratory one. But when there are some other viruses that may not be respiratory, but looking at wherever the source, where they're coming from, you try and protect yourself. So building your immunity is also a key factor. Because you see, many of these infections will affect people whose immune system will affect them more when their immune system is low. So it is the duty of mothers to ensure that the adequate things are done to ensure that the immune system of the family members are boosted. That's by eating the right food, eating good and healthy food. You know, it's not just about giving the children what they want. It's about giving them what they need. What they need. The tendency is for our children not to want to eat what they need. They want to eat junks. They want to eat those things that they can easily get. They want to take a lot of sugary things, but you know, all of these things may not necessarily be what they need. So boosting your immune system, it shouldn't just be because of the COVID. It should be something that we continue to do, you know. And all the other things that we have heard, we should also try our best to maintain them, because they're going to help us in the long run.
I don't know if Deaconess Amuta has some other advice.
Okay, thank you very much.
To stay safe.
Yes, exactly. So far so good, you know, staying safe, and a lot of things we have learned from my dear sister here, you know, and they've told us a lot of things, you know, the medical practitioners are there. But you see, for us as mothers, the onus is on us to make sure that these things are carried out. They've told us what to do, and if we don't get them done, I tell you, it will not be done. You can imagine when you're talking to a teenager about, oh, come in, wash your hand. No, I'm not going to wash it. The mom is someone who should say, you just have to wash your hands. So the major thing for us mothers in all of this is that we should ensure that these things are done to keep our families together and to give us very robust health. You know, when we look at what is happening now, it's quite disheartening. But you see, we can do so much. We can do so much as mothers at home. And you see, one of the things, like, you know, we also look at it, we've been home as families and talking and laughing and having good times and all that. And that is actually what we pray as mothers, especially these are Mother's Day, that, you know, our families will be healthy, our families will be good, both spiritually, physically, and in every way, emotionally, because we see a lot of problems, emotional problems in our homes. You know, I know that if we allow our sister here, she will talk so much about the emotional issues we have, but we believe that this period must have helped us. You know, people you've not been seeing for a long time, they are there with you. You know, and in a way, to look at the internet, how did it help us? You can imagine, you might be here and you have grandchildren abroad. You see them because there's an internet. It's bonding. It makes you happy. And, you know, with that, you can be sure. So one of the things I want to say is that, you know, the Bible says to knowledge there is no end. So don't say, I can't learn it. I'm too old. I'm such a grandma. I won't be able to work. I won't be able to use the internet. I won't be able to learn anything new. No, we can always learn new things. And the children can even teach us. And it will make us to have a better and a robust life. Thank you.
And through the internet, we've been able to sit down to plan this wonderful program to celebrate Women's Day and the Big M Day.
That's right.
And without women watching, of what effects without be, what value without be.
True.
So women, we want to encourage every one of us to ensure that we are internet compliant.
That's right.
That's the word.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. You can Google whatever information you need and you get it.
Yeah.
You will get it. So at this point, I want to say a big thank you.
Thank you.
To our great women of faith, Deaconess Helena Mota, Dr. Iriti Fagbemi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on the program. There wouldn't be any need to have such a program, but when we feel like getting across to the women, yes, we get across to them.
That's right.
You understand? Not because we are held down
Yes.
at home.
True.
Yes.
True.
So next year, we're going to dance.
Yes.
We're going to roll out the drums.
Exactly.
Even throughout the remaining of this year, we're going to roll out the drums for all of the programs we have at Foursquare Women International. We want to say a very big thank you to you out there watching this special edition. Thank you very much. My name is Funke Oga. Bye for now.